Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to the Affairs of the Heart podcast, live after show. I'm so debonair. I have my co-host Dwayne. I think he's coming in.
Hey everybody! You were so
Welcome.
caught up. You were so caught off guard by that.
Welcome to the after show. We're going to go ahead and recap this week's episode of the Affairs of the Heart, season 3, episode 7. This has been a great journey. A lot of shocking things have happened this week because we hit our highest numbers this week, right? So kudos to that. We hit over 2,000 streams this week. That's the highest we ever had. Like in any week, we haven't even got close to that. So that's dope. I think that the reason is because of the podcast 2 weeks before that I titled "There's Some Hoes in This House." That's one that people are streaming.
Okay.
But so this is episode 7. This episode was titled "What Sex Do You Like?" People were very confused about that, which I loved.
Very, very confusing title.
Yeah, I love that because it made people listen to the podcast. But we did have a special guest, and his name is I am Clark __. Yeah, we're bringing him in now.
That's all you. Oh, that's it. Okay, there's no introduction. You just gonna want to bring him in.
Introduce yourself.
Okay. You are such a bad host, Aaron.
I don't really, I'm not really into this part. Normally with my shows, I don't do this. So
you are a bad. That's not how you invite.
Hey, Clark.
Real quick correction: it's Clark.
It's Clark
__.
Yeah. That's why I couldn't find you on social media because I kept on typing "I am Clark." So you're right.
Well, welcome to the show, Clark. Thank you so much for filling in for me this week and making it like home. I hope you enjoyed yourself, and Aaron didn't make it as awkward as it.
I did. It was a blast. I enjoyed working with Aaron. So debonair. It was amazing. We had a great conversation, great dialogue. It was fun. I really enjoyed it. Thank you for inviting me on. I do appreciate it.
Awesome. So
I've been asking, to come on and be guests on the podcast since I announced it on Twitter before we actually even started it. And Clark was one of the people who asked me like in the beginning. So I thought that, it'd be fun to just have like some people who are interested in it to come on. So because you told me at the last minute that you weren't going to be here.
To my defense, I found out at the last minute, to be quite honest. So it is totally to my defense. Obviously, we try to plan out accordingly, but I had to go to LA at the drop of a hat for something. So
I was like, what do I do? And I was like, you know what? Let me go to Twitter because that's where the most people that I know that listen to the podcast come from. Have had interest in coming to the podcast, and this was who I thought would come on.
So Clark, tell everybody about yourself so they know who you are, where they can find you, who are you, what do you do, yada, yada, yada.
Well, again, social media, Instagram, Twitter, it's Clark. I believe my Snap is the same. I'll have to double check that because I really don't be on Snap that much. I'm trying to get more active on there. Born and raised in Chicago on the west side, K-Town, anyone familiar with that. I do a lot of stuff. I work in fitness. I'm a contracted actor for a play. Also model represented. Recently, just got published after the Peach Atlanta, so that was awesome. I've been published behind the scenes. This is my second model publishing.
Okay.
But yeah, just started a new job today with a new studio. Yeah, a lot going on, a lot of transitioning going on right now. So I'm excited because despite how this year started off, because it literally put everything at halt. I was supposed to be on tour this year. Other than that, things are still going good, still working, still trying to build.
I think that's everybody trying to build. We have
to figure out what's really going on.
Right.
So are you ready to go ahead and get into the show?
Let's do it.
So this week we did do something a little bit different that we don't normally do, which is kind of deal with some things that are going on the internet. We talked about Brandy and Monica a little bit.
We did.
Yeah, Clark he didn't lie, so it gave me a little platform to like really express how I felt.
Watch it.
So it was all about you and this Brandy and Monica conversation.
That's normally what it is about. But I did get a chance to express that on the podcast. But I just really feel like it was a really good time for us when we grew up to get a chance to see them together again. Of course, I'm a big Monica fan, and because I'm not a singer, I don't have the dog whistle to hear the sounds that people hear with Brandy. So I don't have something. You know, dogs have that special sound that they can hear. That's what the Brandy fans, they're like, if you're not a singer, you can't really hear it.
This is what we're not going to do on the podcast today. We're not going to throw shade at either Brandy or Monica.
I'm not throwing shade. This is what they have said. I'm just repeating that. I don't have that special that thing in my ear to hear the dog whistle, to understand the vocal that she has that makes her music better than Monica's. I love Brandy.
Oh, jeez.
I love me some Brandy, but I just don't think that musically, like when I turn on to some music, if those are the only two people in my catalog, I would turn on Monica. So that's just that on that for me.
Clearly. I don't really have, honestly, I don't have a, I think I did watch it. I can say that. I don't have anything negative to say about either. I think that they both have, incredible talents. I did not know, which I heard you guys talk about on the podcast. I was not aware that the only Grammy that both of them have is for The Boy Is Mine.
The Boy Is Mine, yes.
That is very interesting to say that they have been in the game for as long as they have, and neither one of them have Grammys for their individual works. That speaks volumes.
Nominations,
but countless nominations.
Yeah,
lots of nominations, but they don't have a Grammy to go with that nomination. Besides The Boy Is Mine, and I feel like that Monica. I'm gonna just say I feel like Monica respects that. I feel like Brandy has been throwing shots at her throughout the years. From just stuff that she's done. And I think that's what really turned me off from her. I still love her musically. I love her music. I think Brandy is a dope artist. I love everything from up until Full Moon. But other than that, I feel like they should respect each other. And I posted on my Facebook today because they did something after the Versus was done that really looked genuine to me. And Monica talked about how they had a conversation before they went live. And I feel like, me, I'm a very analytical person. And so I feel like whatever they talked about, Monica was probably still kind of like analyzing what they talked about, because she didn't seem very present during that whole thing to me.
I think that there were a lot of innuendos in conversation that still weren't clear, and it was obvious in the on-camera interaction between the two of them.
But if you watch what they did after that, it was like she thought about the whole thing. They're probably not best friends, but they respect each other. And I feel like that's where we all want them to be at, who are mutual friends of both of them. I mean, fans of both of them.
Y'all are mutual friends. Oh, okay. Oh, all right. I mean, that's all I have to say on that. I don't have anything negative to say. They both have hits. They both have great, great careers.
Yes, they do.
I thought it was very amazing that after that was over with, iTunes went crazy for both of them, because Brandy had 5 albums that was charting. Monica had 5 albums that were charting. Monica had more singles that were charting, but Brandy was still on. They both were charting, and that was amazing for our generation.
She got bops.
She does, I think. And as someone posted this, they said that people love Brandy albums more, but they love Monica singles more. I think that's very accurate to say.
What were you gonna say, Clark, in regards to?
I was gonna say in regards to them not having individual Grammys, you gotta look at who they were going up against during that particular decade. Like all the divas,
Hmm.
the main ones were still being nominated. And
It's true.
Whitney, Mariah,
Hmm.
we know they Grammys.
Did Aaliyah have any Grammys? Y'all know that?
Let's do some research. Let me fact check that. Stand by. Keep talking.
Yeah, I don't know if Aaliyah did, but I knew that it was those three at that time. I feel like the people that came before them were really endorsing them, though, to
Mm-hmm.
really be the next them. Like Aretha Franklin had her favorite, Whitney had her favorite, Mariah Carey had her favorite, so they all
Yeah, I
had.
had a favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
So that is a negative. Aaliyah has been nominated. She was nominated in 99,
Mm-hmm.
2001, 2002, 2003,
Wow,
but she hasn't won any. No.
and that's so crazy because when we grew up, that was big to us, you know. But that does make more sense from what Clark said that they were going up against major people. Because how do you go against Whitney Houston, Mariah Carey, Tony Braxton? I mean, how do you do that?
Yeah.
So that makes a lot of sense.
You sit there and be humble and
Come
take the
together,
heat
come
for
together,
being
make the
nominated
boys mine.
next to them.
And work on the next album.
And come together, make the boys mine, so we can have one together.
Right.
But through the years, I just feel like Brandy had a bad attitude towards Monica. But as the stories came out, I realized why she had one, and I got a little bit of it. And as Monica talked about this Versus album, and she had more things that she wanted to talk to Monica about, I realized that it was way bigger than what we probably even know. But whatever it was, I feel like they squashed it because after it was done and they did the interview that I posted on my Facebook page, I feel like they probably are not best friends, but they respect each other.
I mean, and that's all you can ask for at the bottom line. I mean, you can't really ask people to be best friends. I'm sure there's people in our lives that we have come across that we have either forgiven or had interactions with, and we may never be best friends, but we respect each other for who each other are.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? We're never going to see eye to eye. We're never going to be best friends. We're never going to go out. We might not even break bread together, but at least I respect you for who you are and what you bring to the community or whatever the aspect is, and you keep it moving.
I feel like they know the power of them being together too, because even after that all happened, they did another song together after that, which they didn't even play on the verses
Yeah, they didn't play that song, the one they did together.
because it didn't do that.
It All Belongs to Me. Was that the name of the song?
It didn't do that well, but they did another song together, and I feel like we're going to get
I
another
don't know it.
year soon.
It wasn't anything to know, to be quite honest.
I didn't like the song, and people were saying that Brandy did all the backup vocals. I feel like the fans make it bad for them to be friends or respect each other because even like for me, like I went off for Monica. I don't mind saying that. I went off for Monica because I feel like she's the underdog. People don't really respect her because they saying she's hood, she's Gunica, she's all these things.
What?
Gunica.
They call
What
her
the hell is that?
like she's a goon. She's a hood chick. They said Brandy makes songs for families. Monica make songs for people who waiting for their man to get out of jail. So there's so many things that are going on when it comes to.
I think I saw one where it said, well, Monica makes music for girls to go to HBCUs and pledge Delta or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then Brandy had this long one that was kind of like came from no.
They keep Brandy. I think that the reason why Brandy is so stunned is because they keep her in her childhood fantasy they have for her. Because if she could do more and she realized that she could do more, she probably could be. To me, I feel like Brandy should be on a Beyonce status. Honestly, I feel like that. She's had the backing. She's had the people behind her. That she's had the show. She's had everything. She should have what Beyonce has because they love her vocally. They love her acting. Something that Beyonce people don't feel like she can do. she has the platform for all that stuff, but because her music kind of stays like in the same lane and it's not that diverse for a lot of people, she hasn't really gotten to where she could potentially be.
Well, I think at this juncture, you also have to take in consideration that she keeps herself in that mind frame. And I think it was very evident during the verses when Monica played the whole song.
Yeah, I don't
Brandy,
I like that. I ain't like that.
And Brandy was like, "Oh, my daughter's watching." Like, your daughter is like 20 years old. Like,
girl, it's okay for you to say ho.
You know, I just think that she keeps herself in that mind frame.
I think she's trained to be there. You know who I feel like is like that too is Tia and Tamara.
Oh no, I disagree.
I'm not saying Tia, but Tamara is definitely in that mind frame.
No,
Tia's more out there. Like Tia does roles that Tamara would never do.
That's if they get the roles, for that matter.
Tia has had them though. When she did The Game, Tia had roles that were not typical for Tia and Tamara at all.
I think they're way far advanced in Brandy. I would say.
Well, no. Well, no, wait a minute. I don't think that Tamara is though. I don't think that.
What did you acting is to push yourself.
You never
push yourself past that comfort zone as far as what you know as acting. Is to be a character outside of yourself. So that's good then. Because Melanie, her character on The Game, Tia, she completely different from what we've seen them in the past, because you gotta remember they were on Disney.
Yeah. They released Sister on Netflix yesterday. So I've been watching too. And I realized that Tia is way different from Melanie. And even if you watch Family Reunion on Netflix, it still brings her back down to that childhood fantasy that they had of her being a kid. Have you ever seen that?
I have seen it. It's the show with
Reunion.
With her and Loretta Devine.
Yeah, Loretta Devine, yeah. But it brings her back down to that childhood fantasy. I felt like that Tia's been fighting to not be that.
Okay. Is that on that? Can we move on?
We can move on.
Thank you. Whew. All right. Let's get
So our first relationship topic for this week was: is it okay for your fuck buddy to ask you for money?
I said no. No.
I said no.
Not at all.
I mean, how many times is y'all meeting up?
Well, we talked about that too, but off the back, like if we're a fuck buddy, no. If we have had like multiple fuck buddy sessions,
you know, if it's like a regular situation,
yeah, maybe.
Yeah, and if we've had that dialogue, like if we've expanded dialogue beyond just fucking, yeah, it's a lot of cards that can be played into that.
But you're not calling me at 3 o'clock in the morning every time you want to fuck, and then when your bills are due, you're calling me like,
right.
Hey, my phone bill's due. Can you? No, like it's not happening. We haven't even talked past. Can I get some dick or can I get some ass? Like, no, it's not happening.
Right.
So you're okay. So in the question, it is somebody that you don't have any kind of other connection with than sex.
Right.
Y'all are just smashing every couple of weeks. That's it.
All right, even if it's a couple of months, days,
or a couple of days. And
but
I was trying to give your booty some time to rest. I'm just saying. That's why I said a couple weeks.
But our conversation has getting some dick or some ass.
But okay, so they're just nothing past that, and then all of a sudden they ask you for some money.
Yeah.
I mean, again, I think it depends upon, you know, the kind of relationship that y'all have outside of that. And if you don't have one outside of that, then you'd be kind of like, well, wait, what? Why me? Right? Why would you pick your fuck buddy to call?
I'm like, I'm not your only fuck buddy there.
Right. Isn't it like an auntie that comes before me, or like a cousin that might come before me? You get to my phone number and call me and ask.
If you really like that comes before me too. Like, so if they all said no, what you think I'm gonna say? Hell to the no, to the no, no, no.
And they got you to sing, Aaron. That's even better. Clark, you shared your thoughts on the podcast, but what do you think for people that hadn't listened?
I said no for that pretty much that same exact reason because there are so many cards that can be played into that situation as to when you would might consider giving them a loan or whatnot. But if it's just purely just fucking y'all, like you said, y'all only meet up to fuck. There's no dialogue or conversation past that.
Right.
You pretty much letting you leave. Why are you calling me? Why are you calling me on this fuck shit right here?
I think you gotta also think about this too. Like, some people turn into fuck buddies because they can't have you.
Because they can't have. What do you mean?
They like you don't want to date. They know you don't want to date, or you tried to date them multiple times, but y'all fucking. So y'all become fuck buddies, and then you get into a financial bind, and it becomes an obligation to the person who really didn't want to do it. And you're asking for money.
Yeah, that's a whole nother card you done played.
I was like, wait, what?
But that's what I'm saying. I know lots of people. I've been there myself. Were the people that I did not want to date, or people didn't want to date me, but we had good sex. We've been fuck buddies, but a financial place has come in. For me, my pride is too big to even ask. But I've had people who've asked me for money before. I'm like,
you see all these wrinkles right here. This is usually what happens when, when I'm faced with something I don't have an answer to. That's crazy. I don't.
That too. I mean, it was good, but it was good for what it was, but it wasn't all that.
I mean, it was good, but it wasn't all that.
One moment.
Okay. All right. So the consensus is no. You would not give your BUDDY any money.
Hell for the no.
Hell no. Hell no.
Next question. How much time do you need to grieve a relationship once it is over?
Who's going first?
I mean, we just gonna toss it in the air. You go ahead, Aaron.
Toss it up in the air. Go ahead, Aaron. Okay. I feel like it's a case-by-case scenario. For me, because my only person that I really dated was a long-term thing, it took me a very long time. And I said on the podcast, it took like 5 years to get over my relationship. I feel like I was healthy enough to date someone. And that's because for me, I wanted to be healthy for the next person that I dated.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't think that it's a rushing thing. I honestly don't think there's actual time frame for it because it depends on that person who needs to get over. How much were you in love with the person you were with?
Mm-hmm. 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 Clark?
It all depends. It all depends on really how connected y'all were, how long were you all together. But as I said in the podcast, it's nothing for me to detach my feelings. If we come to that understanding where there was nothing there, once I detach my feelings, I'm like, it's depending on how long and how into it I was, it really wouldn't take me that long. But then I also do like a self-reflect.
Mm-hmm.
So that is what takes me the longest. Like for me, after any dramatic occurrence, whether it be life or relationship based, as far as the topic, I'm gonna turn the mirror in on myself and look at myself and try to figure out what I did, what I could have done better. I got that one friend who always tells me what I need to hear versus what I want to hear.
Mm-hmm.
So I go to that friend when I turn the mirror in on myself and I just ask her like not there maybe random questions to her, but I'm asking for a purpose. to see like what could I have had done. And when I tell you, everyone needs that friend, like pretty much bring like that's what you did. That is exactly what you did. Here's what you could have done better, but understand at that point the disconnect might have already been there. But in the future, this is what you should do, you know, alleviate pressure or whatnot. So that's me, because like I could self-reflect like 6 months, eight, damn near a year, just trying to figure out like, because at a point I just want to work on me, work on me, just figure out what I did wrong, what was bad, what was the good. I try more so to hold on to the good, and because I'm not one of those people that want to hold the bad against what someone else did,
Yeah.
versus what you're doing, because no, you're not that person. But I am remember those good things and hold on to those and try to apply them within whatever new may be occurring.
Yeah. I think, and this is an interactive conversation for those that are watching us. Make sure you put in your comments. We want to hear what you think. The questions are scrolling at the bottom of the screen, so you know what we're talking about. I think that I agree with you. I think it takes time to do some introspective work to make sure that you have grieved properly. Whatever you have dealt with, you know, because at the end of the day, it takes two to tango, as we always say. So whoever you played, whatever part rather you played in the situation, why it ended, coming to terms with that, whether it was your fault, whether it was their fault, whether you ended it, whether they ended it, all of those things are factors to take into consideration for your grieving process to get over the relationship. But once you're done, you know, make sure that you take the time that you need. I don't think that there is a answer to the question, so to speak. I don't think that there is a much time. You know, I think you need to take as much time as you need. You know, and for people, for everybody, that's different. You know, some people can get out of a relationship tomorrow and be in one on Friday, but that's neither here nor there. I mean, that's your business if that's what you decide to do. As my girl Tabitha would say, that's your business. But you know, I think that the grieving process is necessary for some people because you have to make sure that you're not carrying old stuff into a new situation.
Right.
And you're not blaming the new person that you're trying to get to know for what happened in your last relationship. Let's go over here to Travis and see what Travis says. Travis said my last relationship was 2.5 years, and it took me 3 years to completely heal over it. A lot of people do say that it takes, as long as you were in a relationship, it takes just as long for you to heal over the process. You know, some people do agree with that statement. I think, you know, it just depends. I personally, for myself, I think that I took as much time as I needed to grieve, you know, my faults and my issues in the relationship, what they did to me, and then properly heal over it. I mean, all the same while still dating and having fuck buddies and everything else, but nothing serious until I was able to, you know, to get past everything that transpired. So,
but it also just depends on, you know, how long it was, because 2 or 3 years, I'm not taking 3 years, and I had a 3-year relationship to get over it.
Why not though? Some people need that. Just like
I understand that, but also, if I didn't, I mean, that's just a lot of time for me. Like and maybe because I haven't had that short of a span of a relationship, that's why it's taking long. Like I'm 3 years. I'm taking a year. That's it, because I don't know how invested I really was at that point.
Okay. Oh, okay. Let's move on to the next topic. Let's see. What's more important, intimacy or sex? Let's start with Clark. Clark, what's more important?
Actually, explain how you wanted to write it, though.
You said what?
Explain how you really wanted to come off, because I answered a different way that you wanted it.
You're talking to me or talking to Clark?
Clark.
Oh, okay.
Because I answered it as a single person and a person that's in a relationship, but you wanted to know in a relationship, right?
Yes, correct.
Oh, okay, so this is. I'm sorry. This is your question.
So, well, I guess I'm going first. Well, I feel more so intimacy, and as I said in the podcast, because I was in a relationship where we only had sex twice the entire group were together.
How long were y'all together?
Uh, it would have been, he made it to either 10 and a half or 11 months.
Had sex twice.
Yeah. Yeah. And I had no issue with it at all, but because it's intimacy, as I said, the level of intimacy and affection and care was through the roof to the level well, for me, not you, but for me, it felt like we was fucking all the time.
But y'all were only intimate twice.
No, we only had sex twice.
No, that's I'm asking you that because I didn't ask you on the podcast, and I realized you were asking different things. So how intimate were you guys? How intimate were you guys? Like, was that frequently?
Oh, all the time. like it was a lot of the little things. Like he was heavily into PDA, and so was I. So
Okay.
yeah.
So did you enjoy that more than the sex?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Like it was like I didn't even care.
I think I honestly want to say I can agree to that though. Like I wouldn't mind if my relationship was more intimacy than sex.
Yeah. But the two times we did, it was like it was good.
Yeah. I think intimacy is important though. Like I think that's something that you have to like really thrive off of versus actually having sex. Because in a relationship, you don't have sex as much as people think you have sex. But the intimacy is way more important than that.
And we had as I said in the podcast, we had a mental connection too.
Yeah, you said that.
So yeah.
I think
and now you agree with me that because you did not agree with me in the podcast.
Well, I heard what you said, but when I went back and listened to it, I really heard what you said, right?
So
I'm thinking like there was no intimacy in the sex part either. Like I'm like, damn, why is that it? But I heard when I went back and listened to it, I was like, okay, I understand what you're saying now because that is more important to me than actually physically having sex. I'm sorry, pulled up something, Dwayne. Sorry.
I did. I tossed up Travis's comment while you guys were talking.
Oh.
And he said intimacy is more important to me.
Yeah.
And I think you want to go next, Aaron, or you want me to go?
No, you go ahead.
I think intimacy it becomes more important when you have that kind of connection with somebody, right? Mm-hmm. If you don't have that kind of connection with someone, then it's just it gets boring and you're just kind of like, okay, I guess we should have sex. But then intimacy kind of trumps sex at some point because you realize that person really cares about you. You realize that person is legitimately in your corner, will do anything for you, will support you in any area and aspect of your life. So I think that intimacy becomes more important, and you cherish those moments more so than you do the physicality of having sex. And I think a lot of people also, don't get to the intimacy part. They don't stay around long enough to get to the intimacy, or that's not something that they're cognizant of. Because some people would think, well, if we're not having a whole bunch of sex, then what's wrong? We're not in a relationship. Something's wrong. They automatically got it as a negative. But I think the reality is as you get older and a little bit more mature and you realize what's more important in a relationship, then you'll lean towards intimacy.
Can I say something that may sound really crazy?
You always do.
I know. I'm going to do it again today. But I don't think that I know when we had this conversation, I totally was not really processing what you said. But I feel like some people don't understand the difference.
There a major difference.
Yeah, like people don't
Yeah.
understand the difference between being intimate and actually just having sex. And I think that, like with my new situation, I'm learning that that's different because
Go ahead.
I was see you done.
Go ahead. I'm finished.
So Terrell Jakar said we are learning that intimacy is better than sex. Oh, okay. I don't know if you can see from the
Mhm.
this one. Okay, fine. So I feel like
I got this.
no, but I thought you said when I do the shared one that you don't get those. So okay, fine. I won't read nothing else. I'm sorry. Excuse me. But but I feel like a lot of people don't understand the difference because for me, I did think that intimacy was sex.
Why did you think that?
Because I've never been taught anything different. We never talked about sex in my family or what intimacy was, so I just thought that they were the same thing. But I realized that maybe that's why a lot of people that I want to date, it doesn't really work out because I'm attracted to intimacy more than I am sex, period.
Hmm.
And I'm learning a lot of things about myself, you know. But so I think that may be one of the issues that people don't understand is that they do think that they think the intimacy is that you don't fuck me, we make love. But intimacy is more than that. It's about really about the emotional aspects of what we do together.
Mm-hmm. Is that on that? Are you
From this to the podcast? I would definitely say the intimacy is more important to me.
But during the podcast, you were confused, I'm assuming.
Well, I wasn't confused. I was right because I knew that intimacy and sex was kind of hand in hand. Like we were just making love versus fucking. But I feel like, but now I realize that intimacy is way past even if you're intimate without the sexual part.
Yeah.
Because
So,
the way I put it, sex is an act.
Yeah.
Intimacy is a feeling.
But I guess what I was thinking was it was how you had the sex was the intimacy.
No.
I learned something new this week.
That's a very dumbed down version of what intimacy is. It's probably at the lowest form of the description of what intimacy is. And I think that people miss the mark a lot of the times when you get to, when you just define it by sexual act. Yeah.
But the more that I heard the conversation, I realized that what I thought wasn't right. And what you were saying, Clark, was different. And so I was like, wait a minute now. Because, we talk about love languages, and I was saying, my love language is laying in the bed, feet touching, watching.
Oh, you were waiting for me to respond?
I was waiting on you, Dwayne.
I'm sorry.
Not to do it myself. But I always say that, and that's very important for me, is that those things happen for me. Like, so when someone gives me that kind of energy, it's very different to having sex with, like, because I think me being 36, I'm gonna be 37 this month. My birthday's coming up this month. I'll send out my cash app. But thinking about that, it's really making me understand that how I think about relationships and things that we talked about on the podcast about not having sex education or even relationship education. I really don't have it because things that I thought were love and things that I thought were intimacy were not that.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I think that's why I really enjoy the podcast. Like, and I don't think people understand while we're doing this podcast, I learn a lot of things about me and about things that that go on in our community that I'm probably not the only person who doesn't get this.
It's true. It's true.
So I have a question. So with love languages,
Mm-hmm.
do you believe? So I believe your love language is something that you show, not what you necessarily receive. It's like I can say my love language is food.
Oh, food. Okay.
I express my love through food.
Okay.
Like I'll feed the fuck out of somebody. But I enjoy I enjoy seeing someone enjoy something that they're eating, whether it's something that we bought or something that I made.
Mhm.
It actually turns me on to see it.
That's more like an act of service, though. Like you're doing something for that person and they're enjoying that.
So I would challenge you to think of it from their perspective also. So like if you cook them something and then you are getting the gratification of watching them enjoy what you've made them, but maybe they're also getting the gratification from the fact that you made them something, period.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Right? So it could love languages can go both ways in the act of either the service, as because I mean obviously as Aaron just said, it's an act of service. That is an official love language, but it could be the recipient could be an active a part of the love language as well.
But it actually
It is a give and
needs to
receive.
go both ways, though.
Right.
It has to go both ways because I can speak my love language to you all day long, but if I'm not speaking yours, then that's a problem.
Right.
Because it is a back and forth. Because if I don't speak necessarily your love language, but this is something that you keep showing me at some point, it's almost it's a learned behavior. I'm gonna
Mhm.
start doing it because it feels good to you and it feels good to me.
Yeah.
Right.
So then it's a back and forth. So same thing. I enjoy you eating and you enjoy what I cook. So then you're like, ooh, I make this. He might enjoy this. So
Mhm.
then it's like it's a give and take.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
Actually, this is a very interesting conversation that I never even really thought about because a lot of times we only think about our own love language. We don't really think about the other person's. And so, as long as if they're speaking our love language, we're okay with it. But how well do you speak that love language back to them?
Or theirs back to them.
Just
that
talking
part.
about theirs.
Mhm. Yeah, absolutely. Or even if you do you even know what theirs are? You
Yeah.
know, if you're so consumed with your own, are
I mean,
you really even taking?
I can tell you that my struggle has always been words of affirmation. And because I'm not a person who it's always, I feel like it's like it feels cliche to me. Like I'm pumping your head up. But I learned recently that it's just like just saying I love you or saying I appreciate you or I love the thing that you do for me or things like that. Like I don't think that when we know what our love languages are, but speaking it back to someone else and understanding what that means to them, we don't always. Well, for me, I don't always like be invested in that, and so I'm learning that words of affirmation is not always just like you look fine today or oh you did that or I thought it was that but it's a lot of oh I love you a lot or I appreciate you or thank you or just very simple things.
Well, bravo to you learning
I learned that this week.
learned that this week.
Definitely
Travis,
understanding each other.
I like that, Travis.
understanding each other's love language is a form of intimacy.
I
Absolutely.
like that. I like
But then you have the people, you may have someone who doesn't show theirs but expects it. But it's like, how do you show something that you don't speak?
well I would think that would be a person like me like maybe I didn't understand that though. Like maybe I thought that the love language was a part of how you speak it to me. Automatically, you should understand me, and because you're speaking to me, you understand me. But I never really thought it was about a back and forth thing, honestly.
Well, I mean, everybody has a love language, but how would you not think that it?
I'm getting that now. I understand that, but I thought it was a lot. I always thought about me. I never really thought about the other person for real.
You selfish is what you're saying.
Actually, I said that. I said that. I actually said that.
Just
But
selfish.
I'm learning more and more that it's not about me. It's also about the other person. But a lot of times it's hard for a person who speaks a certain love language to speak a different one to someone else. Like if it's not the same one.
I mean, but that's the point of learning, love languages and understanding that each person has something different. And has a tier of love languages where it's just not just one, but there's a tier of love languages that people, different people speak. And if you are that invested in that person, then you should be interested in learning what theirs are.
Maybe you have to be invested in that person actually learning.
We moving on to the next topic because I just said that.
No. I'm repeating what you said, like, and being honest. Like, sometimes we pretend like we are. Sometimes we think that we are, but we're not really that invested.
Well, then that's what you have to deal with that.
I'm learning that when you really are invested, you learn different things.
Okay. I'm not going down that rabbit hole with you. We're gonna go to the next topic. Why is the masculine for masculine still a thing? Oh,
this is our topic, so Dwayne, you can go and then I'll go.
Oh, honestly, I don't have an answer because that doesn't work over here. Like, it doesn't have to be. I'm not so one-track mind that the person has to be in a particular box. I think as I've gotten older, well, let me backtrack and say, when I was younger, you have these falsified ideas as it pertains to the aesthetics that you want people to have, that you want to be in a relationship with, or that you might want to have sex with. But at the end of the day, as you get older, you realize that stuff doesn't even really matter. I think it goes back to intimacy and connectivity at the end of the day. But I will say that, when I was younger, he had to be tall and he had to be this and he had to have that and yada, yada, yada. But, that's not the sum of what makes up a person, because they can have all of that and still be just as feminine as they want to be. And that still doesn't take anything away from them by no means. They could be a great person. So I don't think that masculine and masculine or masculine for masculine still needs to be a thing. That's just my opinion. Go ahead.
For me, I feel like it's like a taught behavior. I think that for me, I thought that I wanted someone that was masculine because I was always bashed upon because I was very feminine as a kid. So when I became a little bit more masculine, I never want to go back to that. Although I've always had attraction to someone who had like half and half. Like, you have some masculinity, but you have some femininity to you too. So I think that's really dope that like you have that balance. Now it's like I really don't. You could be masculine, feminine. I really don't care. But as a younger person, I always want someone masculine because I feel like at least like people may not know that we're gay. We're out in public. Those are things I thought about. But now it's like I really don't. I don't care. Clark?
Okay. Now,
I'm sorry, Clark. Was this your question?
It was. Yes.
Okay.
When I answered on the podcast, but it's such an ongoing topic though, and it shouldn't be. I don't. Because like I said, I've been based on my size and my build. People have just assumed that I only go for the gym buff masculine guy. Never dated one ever.
Okay.
Never. As I said in the podcast, I've dated the.
He said everything.
A little bit everything. The discreet guy who's like super, who like queens out at Housewives and watches every single one of them. I've dated that one. I only watch them with friends, and then they tell me about it. I couldn't tell you much of anything past the basic memes and shit. I've dated the guy that beat his face. Gone out with him, like because I'm gay. I am. Yeah, I am gay. People ask me, I'm gay. I told my mom, I break a girl's heart at least once a day. Once a day. And I get told I'm lying.
Yeah, I mean,
they're like, I'm sorry, girl, I'm gay. No, you're not.
Why do they feel they need to tell you that you're not when you tell them that you are? Like, how do you tell me no?
You have to realize though that when you see him, like, he does come out very masculine. So that it's not like assume he's on.
I mean, like, you just don't want me talking to her. I'm like, I said, sweetheart, tell me what grown ass black man is gonna lie about being gay?
None of us. Well, can I do something real quick that was not on the podcast, but someone asked, one of my straight friends asked me this today, and I really want to have. Oh, go ahead with this.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Travis's comment in regards to why masculine and masculine are still a thing.
I don't think it is in our community. I think that people just still do it, but I don't think that we really give a fuck.
I'd agree with that. Right.
I never gave a fuck.
I'm like, okay. What were you gonna say? Go ahead, Aaron. I'm sorry.
So one of my straight friends asked me this morning. Hold on. He said, "Hey, Aaron, honest question. As a member of the LGBT community, would you say that the trials of being gay are the same merit or equal to being of being black?"
Ask the question.
I'm gonna do it again. I want to ask it because he wants to answer to it, because this is a straight guy. He's in a class. They're doing like they're saying that being black being gay is the same as being black. So he said,
or is not the same.
He said, as a member of the LGBT community, would you say that the trials of being gay are the same merit or equal to being black?
No.
I say yes. I'm gonna tell you why I say yes. Because we still go through the same discrimination, but it's also worse. And I said, I don't feel like it's the same. I feel like it's bad if you're a black gay man
or a black part
or a black gay woman. I said, if you're white, it may be the same for them because they never experienced, going through these kind of things. But for being black and being gay, or the LGBTQIA plus community, it is bad because we went through, besides the fact that we're not, well, I mean, sometimes they are getting hung in the parks and stuff like that, but the slavery part is different.
What?
The slavery part is different. But I mean, other than that, yeah, we've been through the same kind of things. I said, but as being black and being gay, I don't think that there's a big difference in what black people from slavery has been through as being a black gay man and today has been. It may look different, but it seems the same to me. You guys may feel different, but I feel like it's no difference because we get discriminated. I've been in clubs here in Atlanta where you can't go to work being called a nigga. They don't want you there. They have shut a club down here because of that. They will fight you over it. I've experienced cops being discriminative because I've been black and gay. Like there's so many things that have been going on here in Atlanta. I'm just talking about here in Atlanta. I don't know about the rest of the world, but when I associate it with being black and being versus being gay, I think it's worse.
Clark, why did you say no?
I say no only when he spoke on the being black and gay part. It's not the same holistically for the entire LGBTQ plus community because black gays gays of color get discriminated against by other gays.
Mm-hmm.
And we already know what it is. No fast, no thims, no Asians, no twinks, no this, no that, no that.
But I think that's for all. I think that's the difference between being black or being white. White people don't like that shit either. They don't want you being fat or femme. Some of them, they don't like that.
I think that
you got the ones but you have the ones that go specifically based on nationality though and race.
Yeah.
I think
there are some people that don't like that will tell you I'm not attracted to black men, I'm not attracted to Asian, I'm not attracted to Hispanic, I'm not attracted to this.
I wasn't basing my question off of being attracted to, but just based off the things that we've gone through as being gay and being black. And I said I can't speak for a white gay person because I'm not white, I'm not gay. So I mean white and gay, so I don't understand what they go through. I don't know what we go through as being black gay people because we have to also fight black people and gay people because when we're here in Atlanta, we have our certain places that we can go out to, but there's some places you can go to. You can hang out there, but don't be expected to be called a nigga. They don't want you there. They shut down a bar over there by Mix. Was it Burkhardt's? They shut that down because of all that. So I said, I feel like there's discrimination is going on, whether you black, whether you gay and black, or whatever, because we still are fighting the fight. Yes, white gay people believe that sometimes they believe that we're equal, but we're still not that equal because we still go through this. We go through discrimination in our community with them. So I said, I don't think that you can compare the LGBT black people and the LGBT white people in this whole situation that you're asking. I said, if you're asking about black people in this community being discriminated, I said, yeah, it's worse because not only we got to fight you, we fight them, we got to fight y'all too.
That part.
But I think there's a marginalized disadvantage to being a black member of the LGBTQIA plus community in general, right? The white community they still have privilege whether they want to acknowledge it or not. Even the black gay community the white gay community still has privilege, whether it's economic or otherwise. They still have it because they're white. Mm-hmm. And it is a bonus that if they're part of the gay community and they have the resources and they fund those resources between each other. So I think any marginalized person of color is going to have to defend being black and being gay on all aspects sides, or a part of the community in general.
I just know that I've been harassed from the police for both, for one or the other. I have been in situations where where you lose your family, your friends, and you got to help build a whole atmosphere of people. And so I really want to ask this because I know he's going to watch this, because I told him I'll ask on the podcast tonight and see what you guys think, because he's doing a class. He's in the class for this, and I really want to get y'all's opinion on it because I really want them to be educated on this. For me, I don't still think that black people and white gay people go through the same situations. I feel like white gay people go through discrimination for the first time. Black people, we've already been through discrimination, and we got to go through it again because of our sexuality.
I think you also need to take into consideration, even with all of the protests and things that we have been experiencing in this day and time. I'm before you meet me, mm-hmm. The first thing you identify me as is a black man. You don't know who I sleep with. You don't know what my sexual preference is. So I'm automatically going to be identified first and foremost as a black man. Have I experienced trauma from both sides, being a black man and being a member of the LGBTQIA plus community? Absolutely. But you're going to ostracize me first for being a black man. And then if you find out that I'm also a black gay man, that's even worse.
Can I challenge you a little bit on that?
Yeah.
Let's say that you are a black gay man who's very feminine. What are they going to see first? If
you don't hear me, it
doesn't matter what they hear you, because they can see how you dress.
No. Listen, so feminine and being a transsexual or a transgender person are two different things.
Right.
So if I am just a black man at first sight, that is the only thing that you're going to identify me as a black man.
But we're not just talking about gay black. We're talking about the LGBTQIA plus community.
I understand, but that wasn't your question. His
question was, does the LGBT? He said LGBTQ, but I'm giving the LGBTQIA plus community. Can you associate that same thing with being gay, with the black struggle versus the gay community, or that LGBTQ+?
Okay, so now so the question is, can the LGBTQIA plus community, can their struggle be equivalent to the black community? That's what you're asking.
Yes.
Okay, so then yes.
Okay.
Absolutely. Let's go to Daniel's comment, which is very lengthy, and I know Daniel personally, so this is a really long one. Someone on Twitter was talking about how white gays internalized their struggle as members of the LGBTQ plus community, but on conference it is. Hang on, wait. Oh, he's got two more comments coming in. Hang on one second.
It's to a
It is
large
a larger systematic struggle that's equal to an American civil rights movement, leading them to start Okay, got you. I mean, it's all the same struggle.
But I like that question because I don't feel like it's the same struggle.
I don't agree that it is either.
Read this.
Yeah, a man's persistence in a feminine manner is going to catch shit from bigots from all sides. At that point, it kind of seems like splitting hairs as to what various phobias lacks, etc.
So can I say this before you even say anything? I feel like even as gay men, sometimes we have to get used to being a feminine gay people, right? Is that wrong or right? What is it? Assessment?
Do we have to do what now?
Sometimes as being a more masculine gay person, we have to get assessed to more feminine gay guys. Like if you feel like you're the exception when it comes to being a gay person, we don't always see the struggles of a more feminine gay man. I'm not saying that y'all don't do that, but in general, sometimes we do have to understand the fact that more feminine gay guys go through way worse than we go through. That's like our transgender people. They go through worse than us as gay men who come off as masculine. They go through worse stuff than we go through. Y'all feel like that?
I don't necessarily think that it's a matter of measure, right?
Okay.
I think it's a matter of individual. Everybody has some type of have been ostracized in some form or manner.
I agree with that, but I'm saying like for me like this. So when I came with my family, you ain't gonna wear no dresses or nothing like that, are you? Like it's like if you're more feminine, it's a harder struggle than if you're just like a masculine person, but you're still gay.
I think that's a part of the problem. But Clark, what were you?
That is a part of the problem. But I'm saying, can we agree on that more feminine gay people go through more than we go through as being more masculine gay people?
Clark?
I can agree when it's put that way, but the other way you put it, I was like, it's almost like you faulted me for being naturally masculine and
right.
what I give off. But the way you just worded it now, I can definitely agree. Yes, based on. But then I do want to say you can tell someone who's acting masculine because I know some that have acted. Yeah, you can definitely tell. But yeah, based on the way you just worded it, I can definitely see.
Yeah, there's a big difference. It's a big difference because as being a more masculine person, even with your family, it's like, well, they're going to automatically assume that you're the man in the relationship. Even the guy I talked to, his family was asked. I think you said that too. They're like, who's the man, who's the woman, right? So as long as you're the man in the relationship, like they're cool with it. But if you're the more feminine one, or you're taking some dick, like it comes more issues with that.
But then you got the one where it's like, so which one of y'all? Both of y'all look.
Yeah.
It's none of your goddamn.
You can be the most masculine man, but you're the one taking a dick. So
that part,
they don't understand that.
Hey, there are degrees to it.
Yeah.
But just like I told you, when my mom asked me that question, I just broke it down like this. I told us like we're both men, and I said, but just like you have more feminine and masculine men and women on the hetero end of the spectrum,
right.
Same thing on this end. You have more masculine, feminine men and women on this end of the spectrum as well.
Right.
I said, but
I think the thing is that no one wants to be stereotyped into one box. Like just because you're a bottom doesn't mean you have to be feminine. Just because you're a top doesn't mean you have to be masculine. It's when it comes to our community, there are so many different aspects of how that looks that the heterosexual world really can't receive it, I guess. So it's hard for you to explain to them because it's really not. It's nothing that they're going to be able to understand when it comes down to it. I guess I don't know, Dwayne. You have a lot of things to say.
The wheels are spinning.
It is I think the whole crux of the conversation is flawed.
Mm-hmm.
It's not okay to assume that if I come out to you and say, you ask me then, well, I'm not going to be wearing any dresses. That's not okay. Right. It's not okay if, then I do decide that maybe I am transgender. Mm-hmm. And that there is no worser of two evils. There is no, none of it is evil for that matter. You know what I mean? Like, I think that the whole situation in itself is flawed.
But I think we try to explain when they ask those questions. Well, honestly, I think and in the beginning, you don't really care about the rest of the community. You care about you. And then you try to explain to them that even though that I could be a transgender and I could have a full dress on, I could get me some boobs and hair, I could be beat to death, but I'm still going to want to be a top. Like, they don't understand that.
Indeed. But I mean, that still doesn't make it okay.
No, I'm not saying that makes it okay, but I'm saying explain it to someone who's asking the question and being very genuine about it. And I'm trying to judge you on it because he asked me this. So I really want to ask this with you guys because I want him to go back to his class and be able to give a really valid answer, I guess. How does it feel? Because he was, and we went way off the topic, but what he was asking was, is being gay the same as being black, basically? And when I answered it, I did take it off the topic because I said, I don't think that white gay people go through the same thing as black gay people go through. I don't think that.
No. Daniel has another question in regards to, I think, what we were just talking about. Are those questions worth explanations, though?
Well, I think that they are because it's a class that he's going through. And this guy that asked me this, he's a straight guy, and he really is like been one of my biggest supporters. This is why I'm asking it. And he's never been like he's always been very like just, wanted to know more and more about it so that he's not ignorant about it. So I want to have an educational moment about it, not like, let's answer a question because we need to prove something to them, but as an educational moment, say, hey, this is what this is. I don't want to be in the defense mechanism where it's like, we really have to answer this because we don't have to answer for real. But I think that he really is asking for a genuine reason.
Got you. Are we ready to move on to the sex topic?
Yes.
I have to ask you for it. Okay. Idea.
In there, I just wanted to ask.
Okay. Daniel did say, "Oh, okay." He understood now. That's fair.
Love you, Daniel.
Daniel is a great guy. We went to college together. And for the sake of the conversation, Daniel is a heterosexual male. So the fact that he's even watching the podcast to have these kinds of conversations is.
I should have told him to watch too, so we could have did this. But that's regardless of the point.
All right. First sex topic. What is something you would like to watch? What is something you like to watch people do in porn, but you won't do in real life, and why won't you do it? Clark.
Nope, Dwayne, for you. We already answered it. It's on you.
No. They weren't.
We already answered it.
I don't give a care what you already answered. I'm struggling with over here. Clark, answer the question.
I thought I was moderating.
You did a bad job on the podcast. I'm back. Baby, y'all talked about Clark's relationship for about 6 hours.
I'll be having questions though.
I like watching people get fisted.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
It used to make me cringe, but then it was like,
that's just too much.
I'm like intrigued to fist someone.
Okay.
But I would not get fisted. That's it. No.
I have a my roommate's best friend is someone that has enlightened me about fisting, I guess because he participates and also does. But I've never at least no one that I knew personally was into that kind of activity. So he has kind of shed some light on that community. And it's interesting to say the least.
My old best friend, he did this thing in the bathroom one time. We went to like a after hours place.
In a bathroom.
After hours place.
Oh, after hours.
Yeah.
After hours, so it's like a spa.
Where you like everybody's fucking in the house or whatever. It's like a real place, but y'all went together. Y'all left the after hours and went there together. But I went and it was like in a bathtub of brown water, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? And I was like, you better get your ass out this motherfucking water. And I realized that he had fisted the guy later on in that day. That's not for me.
No.
So
what do I watch
that you would do, that you would like, but you would never do?
I don't really watch anything that's kind of like out there. I don't think. I'm trying to think. I don't watch anything that's like non-conventional.
So you would do everything that you saw.
Because everything that I watch is what I'm interested in. So I don't necessarily I'm not gonna watch something that I'm not interested in personally. So I don't watch anything I don't watch fisting videos because it's not something that I'm personally interested in. It doesn't really do anything for me.
Shout out to Phil because he's into that.
Is he really? Is he here? Because if he's here, he's gonna kill you.
But what you may think is what you may think is conventional, we may think is unconventional.
Well, right. I watch. I just watch people doing it. That's it. I don't really.
What they doing?
They're not doing anything that's not. They're not doing anything that's not. I'm not gonna say normal because then that would be discriminatory. But it's not.
No swings, no various toys, no.
Okay. I will say this. I have watched people use the what is that toy called? That's kind of like remotely, the one that it looks like they're electrocuting them.
I don't know what you're saying.
There's like a bottom toy that people use that I guess people can control from the internet that kind of zaps their prostate electrically. So anyway,
I don't know what he's talking about. That you connect to someone's phone number and they can fuck with you with your phone. Yeah.
Yes and no, but it's a real intense situation.
Damn it.
You said what?
The watch party. I thought I loved them to the watch party, but I guess I kept coming to this. They were commenting on. I missed all the comments, but there was some good ones on here. So sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I would never do that. Since you asked.
Your porn is just normal.
It's very normal. Daniel, how does Daniel know what it is? And I don't know what it is.
You would have asked him this after the podcast.
So. Right. We might have to have a conversation, friend. But yeah, I would never do. No.
Straight freak Twitter be on some extra.
So mine was the circle jerk thing when people jerk off and come on the one person in the middle of the room. I love watching it. I would never do it, but I love watching it because I become fetish. So.
Okay. You would never do, just never.
It's a prostate massager thing.
It's right, but the videos they look like they're being electrocuted. It's just not.
I never feel like I was being electrocuted with my prostate massagers.
Okay, well. Did we answer the why or why not? I think we did. Yeah. We go on to the next one?
Well, we got people watching from the other things, so let me say these. So Eric Larry Jenkins Jr. said he likes forced sex / rape videos.
He likes what?
Forced sex / rape videos.
Forced.
Like they're forcing you to have sex / rape videos. And He was saying water was brown when I said that. Yeah, your water was brown. Yes. So, yeah, that was he like something that you like that you would never do. It was forced sex and rape videos.
Mm-mm. No, I don't. You know what? I've never been raped. That has not been a part of my story. But I don't like to watch people be forced to do that kind of stuff. I just that is not. That's not that doesn't turn me on at all. I think I really start fearing for the person, and then not having like
That scares me a little bit. I'm sorry.
no. We're gonna say what's up to JP and Wes in Houston. They're watching.
Hey,
What up?
or we didn't get to come there for the tubing thing.
Oh, it's next year. You gotta make they're planning for next year already. So yeah, I don't rape videos are just not they make me uncomfortable.
Terrence Moses said it's like a vibrating feeling.
The electrocuted prostate. Yeah. Okay. Have you seen any? But honestly, have you seen any videos of anybody using the prostate massager like that? Okay.
Wait, say what? Doing a what now?
Have you seen any of the videos where people use the prostate massagers where it looks like they're electrocuted? It is not.
No, I mean electrocuted now. You know, I use my prostate massage was down.
That's different. Like
I'm being electrocuted.
It looks. I'll send you one once we're done, so you can see what I'm talking about. It looks scary. I'm not lying. I've watched it, but and not in the heat of the moment. Like, you know, when you're scrolling trying to find a video and you're like, okay, oh, well, let's see what they're doing. Oh no, okay, let's go to find something else.
This was the wrong video.
Like, okay, like people have seen them. I'm not crazy. It's not like I made it up.
What's the next one?
You ready now? Okay.
You're ready.
What sex is better? I miss you sex, I'm sorry sex, or we're not supposed to be doing this sex?
We answer this so Dwayne, it's you first.
First of all, no, you're not in control of this. Answer the question.
You told me I was in control today.
No, I did not.
You did.
No, I didn't. No, I did not. We see what happens when you're in control.
Right. Eric said people use it when they doing sex shows and when people tip them. I've seen that. He's seen that. So whatever you was talking about last, he's seen that. Yeah.
The prostate massagers.
Yeah.
Daniel said the struggle is real. Indeed. We're not supposed to be doing this. Sex is much better than I think the other two.
Which one? Wait, what'd you say?
I said I went to answer the question, but I also put some comment up here. So it does look like they're having a seizure. I'm not crazy. I'm serious. It looks terrible. We're talking about the prostate massager. So let's get back to the question.
I need to find out what happened with the prostate massagers.
It looks like an issue. What sex is better? I miss you sex, I'm sorry sex, or we are not supposed to be doing this sex? And I have to say that we're not supposed to be doing this sex is probably better.
That's a good part, yeah.
Because it's like you're just not supposed to be doing it, but you're doing it anyway.
But we gonna do it anyway.
And it is.
I just feel like that's you cheating sex.
That's not what the question was.
It feels like that to me.
No, it could be like y'all are just friends, and it just so happens that y'all are actually like it's not. It doesn't
You
really
have a man or nothing like that. You just not supposed to be doing it.
Yeah, like you know, it's not something that you would have conceived as it pertains to being friends.
Okay, no moments. Okay, I got you.
Yeah, Clark, you said the same thing.
Yes,
I said
I ranked it.
We all agreed on the same thing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You said
I said I agree with you first when I said I think that I'm sorry. What was it?
You said I'm sorry. Sex.
I went back and said I'm sorry. Sex would probably be better for me if I'm in a relationship.
But that ain't that ain't.
I'll give it two different scenarios.
All right, two different scenarios.
Eric said exactly. We are not supposed to be. It is always more exciting.
It is. You're just not supposed to be doing it, and you're doing it. And
Right.
that, not to mention, if you've kind of fantasized it like once, like maybe you better fantasize about it one time, like, oh no, well, no, we just friends. We never gonna do this. Now that's not gonna happen. And then it actually happens. Oh,
I'm always going to agree with not supposed to be having sex, but I just want to be politically correct. If I'm in a relationship, I'm not supposed to be doing sex. It's not something I'm agreeing to.
talking about a relationship.
I'm not in one right now, but I'm just saying if I was in one, I gave two different scenarios.
I've never had "I miss you" sex, Travis says, or "I'm sorry" sex. So by default, I have to go with that. We are not supposed to be doing this sex.
I've had a miss you sex. That was
It's
being,
intense.
being met at the door. Like, can I get my clothes on? Like, the door is open. Y'all just slide me to the down at the door. You can't even get out. Can't put the bag down.
One of my friends we've had, I'm not supposed to be doing this sex before. Nobody knows that we did it, but it was amazing. Like, we still be around each other and nobody knows we had sex. So, I mean, I'm always down for that, but I'm being politically correct. If I'm in a relationship, I'm not going to say that me I'm only doing this sex is right, because now you feel like I'm a sneak.
Again, you keep bringing in the relationship aspect, and we are not talking about a relationship.
I'm just giving two different scenarios. That's it.
I'm sorry, sex can be romantic as hell, though. Y'all both all in your feelings doing and after.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good point.
Very much so true.
That's a good point. All right, let's go to the last question.
Sometimes you got to fuck the I'm sorry out of them.
Oh, see, this is not baby boy, and I'm not about to go in the kitchen and make you some tacos. That's just not. That's not happening. Do you get mistaken for being a bottom or a top? And has anyone gotten upset with you for not being what they expected?
Let's do this. You want me to go first?
No. I'll go first. Okay. You know what's interesting? I have been mistaken for either. I think a lot of people think that I am a bottom.
Because you got that booty.
For whatever various reasons.
You got that booty.
I do have a very nice behind, apparently. But I don't think anybody's gotten upset with me because I was not what they expected, right? They just stopped talking to me.
Oh, wow. Because
once I don't give in to the fact that I'm gonna, offer up my behind, then they just stop talking to me.
Should have just said. But you know what's funny is, for me, people, if they don't know me, like they've never been in any circles that I've been in, they automatically form a top.
Well, because you are tall, but your ass is huge, Aaron.
Yeah, but they haven't seen me in person though, so they always, like, if it's on social media, they think I'm a top. And there was a guy that I met at a house party. He's seen my ass, but he still thought that I was at least versatile. Which, I mean, sometimes I am versatile. Okay, Carl. Sometimes I am versatile, but this dude was like, really, like, he couldn't talk to me if I was more of a bottom than versatile.
Wait, what?
This guy that I met at a house party, he was like all over me the whole time, and then I was like, I'm really like more of like a versatile bottom.
Okay.
He didn't like it. Like, he stopped talking to me at that moment that I told him that.
So Luche, who was in the room, what's up, Shay? Are people still subscribing to being total bottoms and total tops in 2020? Yes, they are, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, yes.
Unfortunately, people are, and it's very sad to say.
I don't mind being versatile with my man, like if I have a boyfriend, but if I'm going for my own sexual pleasures, I'm going to get what I want.
Yeah, I am not. It's not something I subscribe to at all. But I'm also not going to, being a verse top. What is that?
What is that?
I'm not going to.
Oh, you're convertible top.
I don't offer a convertible top. You're so stupid. I don't offer my behind at all. Like, it's not something that I just willingly. We have to be really close and connected for me to even consider that kind of interaction. It's not something I freewheelingly give because of my emotional attachment to it.
Anytime like social, my little apps that I was on, it always said no bottoms,
No bottom.
none, not at all. Now if I hit you up, that's a different story. And,
Clark, what are your thoughts on the topic?
I don't think no one's ever. Look, actually, like being verse, you get a lot of slack. But as I said in the podcast, more so from bottoms though.
that
As
means
I said, like I'm never gonna ask anyone to step outside of where their comfort in that particular situation.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'll bring you back in all the time. You ain't never got flip over. I'm good. If you good, I'm good. I'm versed. I can go eat. I said if that's where you're comfortable at, I'm never gonna ask anyone to step out of their comfort. But then I've gotten this from you just a big old bottom anyway. I said, yeah, on occasions I have bottom.
Right. And why is that a jab? Why do people use that as like a gift?
That's all they care about.
That throws me. Like, how is that a diss?
How did you diss me?
As soon as
I tip my hat to bottom. So I'm just making the world go round. Shit.
Carl, I'm not doing this with you. We're not going to have this conversation. Listen to the podcast. And in fact, listen to season 1 since Aaron wants to talk about what a verse top is. I agree. It's not like, come on. At the end of the day, and I think as we're older, like, do you feel it's an age thing? Do you think people in our age range? I'm assuming that you're in your 30s, Carl. I mean, Clark.
Yes,
you're in your 30s. Okay, so I think it's an age range situation. Do you think people that are younger are
they still want to top or bottom of our verse? They want a decision. In our age range, we like, what are you? What are we doing today?
Right. How do you feel today? What do you want?
You want some dick, you want some ass, you want both.
Listen, just make sure I'm prepared so I know which one you want. Because today is a different day.
Okay.
Carl says, people box me in because of my height and ass, and then I surprise them. Oh, child.
Surprise.
Child. Travis said, being a total top or a total bottom is an unfortunate. I
agree with you, Travis.
I can agree with that. I think it's unfortunate to be more one than the other. However, they do exist.
That's why when you see those lists of people who single, they single because they one or the other.
That might be true. I agree. The older you get, the more verse you become. Absolutely. You become more acceptable to.
What's your catch? Let me put into the collection plate.
Did your verseness, Clark, come as you got older, or was that something that you always set out you had in mind from the beginning?
Always. Pretty much. Yeah. Because then again, I've dated all different types.
He's dated everything
as well. Like, yeah.
But I think. Well, go ahead.
I think although my first boyfriend, he claimed verse, and then I gave it up first, and he didn't want to flip. So,
you know what I always say on this podcast.
So, yeah, see, I think like he was a verse turned top, I guess, and then after him, it was like pretty much bottoms. After him, in a verse, the discreet housewife queen was verse, yeah.
Okay. I'm just popping in the comments as people are because now
the question on that last one though.
Say it again.
There was a question for you in that last one that you posted.
What was the question from Daniel?
Was asking as Dwayne had made the statement earlier. What does that mean?
I think Travis was asking, as Dwayne had made the statement earlier, what did Travis say? Oh, his question was, being a total top or total bottom is an unfortunate thing.
So
Is
it's
it?
an unfortunate thing.
That's it. No, it's preference.
It is an unfortunate thing. I mean, let me answer. It's an unfortunate thing because it is a very unfortunate thing because sometimes people don't want to do the same thing all the time. Especially if you're in a relationship, it's hard to just be one or the other the whole entire time. If you want to be there for the rest of your life.
You know what? I would like to believe that there are relationships out there that people actually say, you know what, I'm fine with just being total, either or.
They are, but sometimes there's that one day that they may want some dick or they may want some ass. Or you gonna flip that ass over, or you'll give me that dick.
Okay. I'm not completely comfortable with topping, but as I've gotten older, my attraction for butts has increased.
I'm there for that.
Okay.
Fair
enough. You know,
I love looking
there.
I love looking at butts. I eat the butt, but fucking it is a totally different thing.
Travis said, no, I've tried being versed in a relationship and it didn't work out for me. It may not. Luce made a very good comment. The beauty of sex is exploration.
Yes, it is.
So,
they're here today.
Good Lord. I'm gonna say with Carl, because I did put Carl's comment up here, but I'll put it back. A good flip flop is always in order, personally.
I feel like it depends on the vibe, though, of those two people.
Clark?
I can't say I've never had a flip flop.
Really? Oh.
That's unfortunate.
That is very unfortunate. I have to agree with Aaron on this one. That's unfortunate. It is really a very good situation.
If I'm into that person, and they want some dick, I'm gonna give them some dick. But you better fuck me before I fuck you, because if I come, it's a wrap.
Aaron.
Ask Aaron, like, LOL, I'll eat all night, and I mean all night, but sticking, I'm there for that. I'm there for that. I don't mind that. Like, I don't mind eating no ass at all. And I will eat ass all night.
Eat the baby.
I gotta be really into you to fuck you, though.
Clark, there's a question on the table for you. Are you open to flip-flopping?
Yeah.
Does that come with a level of energy, or does it have to be kind of some kind of connection, or are you just open in general?
Everything is always a vibe. It has to be. It has to be. Ain't even gonna lie. It has to be.
All right. Any more questions before we go? We're grossly over time. We are an hour and 30 minutes in. We are grossly over time, and we want to respect people's time. Thank you guys for sticking in with us and joining us for our live episode 7 of Affairs of the Heart podcast. Any more questions before we knock out? I hear people typing really furious. While they're trying to get their questions in, Clark, you want to tell people where they can find you again, just in case they missed it in the beginning?
Yes, you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at it's Clark __. That's ITSCLARK __. I'm trying to look up my, because I don't be on Snapchat like that. I don't know. I think it might be the same name, actually.
Okay. You can read it down at the bottom too.
Yeah, we put your handle at the bottom if you guys didn't see it. It's also at the bottom. Aaron?
All very soon. In the inbox near you.
So Debonair on everything, Twitter, Facebook.
So Debonair, everything. That's Debonair with no O. Make sure you guys are definitely checking out the affairsoftheheartpodcast.com. Follow us on all social media at The Affairs of the Heart on Instagram, and follow us on AOTH Podcast on Twitter, and follow us at Affairs of the Heart on Facebook.
All right. And I'm your boy GQ. You can find me on Instagram under Dwayne Q. That's DEWAYNE, the letter Q. Same on Twitter, Dwayne Q. And we appreciate you guys for tuning in. Carl, you are welcome for quality content. Love you back. Janie said, especially since y'all are technically overtime. Yes. Make sure you tune in for next week's podcast. We'll be the same time, 8 o'clock next week. And you can check out our podcast on all podcast platforms or check us out, as Aaron said, on the Affairs of Heart podcast.com. It has been awesome. Clark, thank you so much again for filling in for me this week.
I appreciate
it. And the last comment, really enjoy you guys. Aaron is my social media bestie.
You
all right, guys.
Social media bestie as well.
Thank you for tuning in. We appreciate it. See you next week.
Bye.
See ya.